Well, welcome to my webinar, The 7 Ps to Becoming a Published Author. My name is David Jeffers, Amazon best-selling author, and I'm so excited you've decided to take some time out of your busy schedule to check out this webinar, because I'm guessing that you've at least had a fleeting desire to become a published author. Maybe you've had this desire for a couple of months, a couple of years, or a decade or two, and you've just been dissuaded by the challenge of getting a booking agent, getting a publishing contract, and you've heard the horror stories that there's a 1 in a million chance of writing a best-selling book or getting signed and getting on the New York Times bestseller list. All those things you've probably heard or maybe done research. And you know what? Most of them are true. The chances of you becoming a number one best-selling author on the New York Times isn't impossible, but the old conventional ways of doing it, getting a booking agent, a literary agent, and getting an actual contract is not as easy. But guess what? It's not as required as it used to be 10, 15 years ago. I became an Amazon best-selling author by publishing my book by myself. I once used a on-demand publishing company that delivered what they offered, but they didn't deliver what I needed. What I thought I wanted from them and what they were going to give me was not what I actually wanted. So I want to show you in the next 20, 30 minutes of how you can actually become, if not an Amazon best-selling author, at least you can have your book published, paperback in hand, posted on Amazon and all the other different websites that sell ebooks and paperback copies. And so I hope you'll spend some time, go ahead and clear your desk, shut your phone off, close out your email, lock your door to your office if you have to, get pen and paper, pencil and paper, and let's get started. And the first thing I want you to understand about becoming an author is that there are 7 areas that you have to master to do this. So it's going to take some work. It's not a magic wand. I'm not offering you a magic pill that you can take or some magic formula. It's going to take some work. And so these 7 areas I call the 7 Ps to writing. First, there's passion, then pursuit, then preparation, then practice, planning, publishing, and promoting. So let's go ahead and go through each one of these 7 Ps, and I'll help you understand the process of becoming a published author. You know, when it comes to passion, nothing excites us more than our passions. Whatever you're passionate about is what you're going to spend a lot of time on. It may just become a habit, but it can become much more than a habit. And the thing that's neat about having a passion about something is we end up having expertise in what we love because we just spend time. It captures our imagination. Today in the world of the internet, we can go and find information at the touch of our hands with our phones, with our tablets, on our computers. We can look up. Obviously, we have to be careful because there's so much out on the internet. But the more we do, and the more we look, and the more we fall in love with our passion, the more knowledge we gain. And the neat thing about this is that if we will pursue our passion, we can't help but to become an expert. Because the neatest thing about a passion, if you don't have a passion for writing, then this is probably not for you. Because the important part is that passion is what propels your dreams. You've had this dream of becoming a writer for I don't know how long. But the fact that you're here tells me that it's more than just a fleeting thought. That it's truly something that you want to try. That you want to actually pursue, which is actually the second P of the 7 Ps, is pursuit. Now, I said passions are what help us to pursue our dream of becoming a writer. So let me share with you what my passions are. I actually have three passions that at least two of them I have written extensively about. The first one I've had since I was a child, and that's baseball. I absolutely love baseball. I became an avid reader by reading baseball biographies, and just reading. I don't know if it was the first one, but I remember being 8 or 9 years old at our little local Carnegie Library in Sebastopol, California, up in Northern California, and I was reading biographies of Willie Mays and Hank Aaron and Mickey Mantle, Harmon Killebrew, Al Kaline. I can't even think of all the other ones, but that gave me a passion, and just learning the stories and of these people's lives led me to my second passion, which was history, and that actually started with presidents. I got really interested in presidents when I think it was fourth grade history. My fourth grade history teacher, Mrs. Heckley, who made a big impression on me when it came to history. I just loved the American Revolution, and I loved learning about our presidents. And my favorite president is George Washington. And so I read about George Washington, but I've actually read at least a small biography of all 40 presidents. And I just are actually 45 now. I've just have a passion to learn about what propels or drives someone to want to become a president. They all of them, regardless of whether they were great presidents or ones that I voted for, all of them have an interesting story. My third passion is in the Bible. As a born again Christian, I've written. I have a 12-month series of devotionals. I have a great passion about learning God's word. So those are the three things that drive me. Those are the three things that I write about, or at least in baseball, I would like to write something about baseball. My dream actually is just to be a baseball writer. When I retire from my current job, that would be really fun. I always tell my wife, I said, somehow I've got to be able to get down to the baseball winter meetings as just a baseball blogger, so I can hang out down there and just see it. I just love the whole atmosphere. But anyway, the thing that's neat about what we can pursue or how we have passions is that our hobbies can actually become passions. That's what happened with me. Baseball was, as a little boy, was my hobby, and reading was a hobby that started out pursuing things that I liked, and then it became a passion for me. Now, of course, the Bible wasn't a hobby; it was a lifestyle change, and then studying and getting my bachelor's and master's degree in Bible studies and theological studies became a passion. And it kind of grew out. And some of the other things that I do in writing, as far as like different pamphlets I've written, is our causes can become passions. And something that maybe just started out as something that you want to help eliminate hunger. You want to do prison ministries. A number of things can be causes, can become a passion. The thing to understand is that it's important to pursue that which excites you. If you have a passion about something, by all means, pursue it. Now, this little guy is probably taken pursuing your passion a little too far, because that doesn't look really safe. And obviously, he wants to become a pilot one day. But anyway, he is interested in becoming a pilot, and he's going to pursue his passion. Now, it's not enough to have a passion, and it's not enough to pursue that passion. There's some work that comes with this, and I like to call it the preparation. And the biggest thing you need to understand about this is that expertise, it takes work. We need to be able to apply ourselves to our passion, to our hobbies, and when we pursue those passions, we need to understand that it takes work. And the reason this is so important for you to understand is that a lot of people think that their life story is interesting. And as Brian Tracy has said in his training, most people think their life stories are interesting, and that's rarely the case. And the thing that ends up happening is that people just start writing what's known as streams of consciousness. I'm just writing what I think, I'm just writing what I feel. And so this will make a great book. The problem is that rarely makes great writing, and it almost always results in poor writing. So avoid streams of consciousness. So this means that you need to study your area of passion. You're going to have to pursue it and do some researching. You've probably read a lot of things about your passion. Maybe you have a small portion of your library is dedicated to your passion. That's great. You need to do that. That's part of the preparation. And what I want to tell you is you can be an expert through experience, or you can be an expert through research. So all those things that you've read about and all those things that you've researched, don't be afraid to take all that knowledge, synthesize it into a way that you can present it in a fresh new way and help others that have similar interests to see and learn from it. And the reason I say that is that you don't have to have a degree in your area of passion to be an expert. I do have a degree. I have a degree in, like I said, in Bible studies and theology, but I don't have a degree. Well, I guess you could say I have a layman's degree in baseball. I don't have a degree in history, but I have a passion for those. And so I have pursued all three areas of passion that I'm a geek when it comes to all three of them. So again, you don't have to have a degree. Don't be afraid to take what you've learned from others and synthesize it into one area, one concentrated area. The main point of the third P, is it's key. It's absolutely key to becoming a published author. You need to learn how to prepare. So that means, or that should follow on with the fourth P, and that is practice. Okay, you're going to have to practice your craft. So here's a brain. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, I'm going to drop some serious knowledge on you. You ready for this? You ready? If you want to be a writer, you have to write. I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, what a revelation. This was worth waiting for. I know it seems obvious, but people don't understand that. You have to actually write. They're like, well, what if I've never written anything? Well, have you ever written a letter to the editor? If you've written a letter to the editor, then you had to hopefully put a coherent thought process into what you were writing about, particularly those who pursue causes. Maybe you're into politics, you're into sports, whatever it is, and you write in response to an article or a response to a current event, something that's going on in the public, something that's going on in your field of interest. Maybe you've written a letter to the editor. That's a great way to practice your writing. If you are serious about being a writer, I highly encourage you to get a blog. Blogs are free. You don't even have to pay for it. You don't even have to pay for hosting it. All of that's free. And I can show you later. I offer. I can tell you later on, if you're interested, how to start a blog. It's great. Another way to keep up on your topic of interest and to help others follow you, or to attract a following, is put out a newsletter. You can just write a simple little newsletters, whether you're using Word or any other type of word processing product out there. They all have formats, templates for newsletters. You can write a newsletter and email it out to people, post it up to social media. The main thing I need you to understand about practice is you write because you're a writer. You're not a writer because you write. You write because you're a writer. It's in you. Now, maybe you're not an accomplished writer. Maybe you have nothing to produce because you're a writer, but you're going to start writing because you have a passion inside of you. There's this writer that's trapped trying to get out. Now, because you're passionate about it, because you pursued this writing, and because you've practiced and prepared, I need to give you some advice that my good friend, the one who encouraged me to start writing, starting with a blog, Greg Allen, used to host a talk show called The Right Balance. He's been a friend of mine for 15 years now. And he told me something that I've never forgotten, and it's just served me so well. And I need you to really, really embrace this truth. Don't love or hate your writing. Be as objective about it as you can. Because if you truly love it and you get bad press, bad review, it's going to crush you. But then on the opposite side, if you hate it so much, you'll never go follow through and publish it. So be careful of how you allow your emotions to approach your writing. And here's something else that's another revelation that I'm going to give you that you can't get anywhere else. No, it's the obvious. I'm a master of the obvious sometimes, but sometimes the obvious needs to be said. And this is, the more you write, the better writer you become. I know, what a revelation, but it's true. I have had people send me their writing, and you can tell that they haven't been writing for very long because it's not very published, or very polished, I should say. So you need to practice. You know the old adage, practice makes perfect? Well, it's true. It's more true with writing than anything else. So you need to practice. Don't be afraid to write. Don't be afraid how bad your first product is. The very first devotion I wrote I've kept it because it just shows the progress I made, but it's nowhere near where I'm at today. And I've been doing this now I've been writing devotions and publishing stuff. Well, my first book was published in 2006, but I've really taken writing to the forefront since 2008. So I've been writing seriously now, steadily for the last 11, 12 years. So that I encourage you to do that. Now, as you practice and as you get prepared to start really putting together a book, you have to have a plan. If you just start throwing things up at the wall and hope they stick, you're going to waste time. You're going to get frustrated, and you're never going to finish. You'll just throw it away. Maybe you've done that already. Well, if it has, I'm so glad you're here, because I want to help you organize and get better at doing this. Trust me, I'm the most unorganized person in the world, which may shock you, because I spent 22 years in the Army. I'm retired Army First Sergeant. But that discipline is what helped me become organized. And as a writer, you must have that discipline, and organizing will do it. So the next P is planning, because you've got to have a plan, because you've got all this information. Now it's got to be organized. You've got to take all this research you've done. You've got to take all this knowledge you have, and you have to come up with some kind of plan. The best way to do this that I know of, so that you can capture everything that's running through your mind, everything that's you're passionate about. And I don't want you to try editing as you go along, but I want you to just really think about it and start capturing these things, whether they're in bullets or paragraphs, or you're just writing as it comes to you. I want you to do that. I want you to set down paper and just start jotting down everything that comes to mind of what you've done, and that includes your research. It's what I call mind mapping. And mind mapping is just what I've described. You're literally capturing all the stuff that you've thought about, that you've researched, and actually putting it on paper. And it's going to be like a hodgepodge of stuff, but it's going to be what I like to call nuggets that are going to turn into a book. Now, what you can do after you've mind mapped, what you can do with these nuggets is you can come up with an outline. What you're going to do is you're going to take all these different pieces and parts, and you're going to group them. You're going to group them into, well, this looks like this would be one chapter, and this looks like it'd be another chapter. And you can start making an outline based off of what you're identifying as possible chapters. Because once you get that outline, and you've got all that information from your mind mapping, but once you start getting that outline, then now you can start using it as a roadmap. And what's really neat about an outline is that outline that you come up with can actually become your table of contents. Now, once you start doing this longer and get more experience at it, I have had the experience, and this happened with my last book that I published, Man Up, What the Bible Says About Becoming a Man. I actually came up with the table of contents before I came up with any content. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes you've been thinking about an area so much that these chapters just come to you. Actually, that's what happened with my first book, Understanding Evangelicals: A Guide to Jesus Land. I was in the introduction, I explained how it happens, but I literally was putting together a 10-slide presentation to explain who evangelicals are and why they vote the way they do and why they hold the beliefs they hold. And as I put that slide together, that slideshow together, I realized that I actually had a book. And so I took the 10 headings of those slides and turned it into a table of contents, and all the content that I had put, the bullet statements that I had put on the slides became my main points. And that's what's neat. When you write bullet statements, they can become your main points, and then your main points can come up with different bullet statements. And these bullet statements are how you start writing your paragraphs. And it's a neat process. It's a neat process. I'm actually writing a second book. It's to my first book, Understanding Evangelicals: A Guide to Jesus Land. Now the second book is Losing Evangelicals: How Christians Are Leaving Jesus Land. And then I have a third book idea that's going to be coming out next year. My second book I'm almost finished with now. But my third one in this series is Rescuing Evangelicals: How Christians Can Return to Jesus Land. So I got these ideas. I have these chapters. And so I'm going to have to research it and get the content and build it that way. Sometimes books come to you that way. But either way, the wonderful thing about this, how planning this way, having an outline, whether it's an actual table of contents or it's just an outline, it minimizes frustration. And so you're not just out there, slaying away, trying to write, and you have no idea where the book's going to go. You don't know any of that. Having an outline will minimize your frustration. Bottom line, outline your story. So now we're ready to publish. And guess what? You don't have to have $5,000 to publish your first book like I did. You can publish your book for free. Yes, I said free. Now, you might have to pay a little bit to develop a book cover, unless you know how to format pictures. If you know how to do that, and you're really good at that and making PDF files, you can do that. Also, you might have to pay a little extra to have your manuscript formatted for e-readers like Kindle and Nook, those type of things. Even if you have to pay for that, you can do it for less than $100. That's the neat thing. You can hire Elance people who are freelance workers who work from different websites, and they can build a book cover for you, and they can format your manuscript, your Word document, into an actual format that will be published on different sites. I love Kindle Direct Publishing. It allows you to upload your manuscript and your book cover, and your paperback book and your Kindle format will be on Amazon website within 12 hours. Did you hear me? Once you publish your book through Kindle Direct Publishing, your book in paperback and Kindle format, if you so desire, will be available in 12 hours. That means in less than 24 hours after you publish your book on Kindle, you can send a link to everybody you know, and they can buy your book online. Another publishing website that I use is Smashwords. And what I love about Smashwords is that there's other formats for e-readers. People really love e-readers. I mean, you can still have paperback books available through Kindle and through Barnes and Noble. But I use Smashwords because they put my book, my e-read or my ebook, on both Barnes and Nobles and iBooks, for just to mention a few. Now, if you want to get your paperback out on Barnes and Noble, you can actually go to Barnes and Noble and open up an account there and they'll publish your paperback. But nowadays, I mean, Kindle and Amazon, Nook, iBooks that you can read on your iPhone or your iPad, that is so easy to do, and it's free money. Of course, they're going to take their cut, but you're not paying anything. You're not paying anything. People just, it doesn't cost to put it on Amazon. They're just literally, if they sell a book, they'll take their cut. You'll get a royalty. You get a royalty check every month electronically transferred to your bank account. It's so cool. I mean, I don't make a lot of money every month, but shoot, I'm still at least making my lunch money. And sometimes I have a good enough month where I can take my wife out to dinner, or if I really promote, then I can maybe have a nice vacation. It doesn't have to become a full-time job. You don't have to quit your day job. In fact, don't quit your day job until you get to the point that you're really blessed and you have a huge following. The only way that's going to happen, though, is through promoting, which is the last P. This is where the hard work begins. You're going to have to become an entrepreneur. Wait a minute, I'm an author. I'm writing because I'm passionate about this. Look, I understand. I understand. But if you want people to read your book, if you want to get on the Amazon bestseller list, which you can, then you're going to have to promote it. And you're going to have to do some work. Now, there's different ways, and you already probably have the ability to do that if you didn't know. Do you have a blog? Well, guess what? You can use that to promote your book. I know you have email contacts, right? Well, an email list is one of the greatest ways to build a following. We like to call them our tribe. Your tribe will be the first people you should be hitting up to get your book and to promote your book for you. Social media. I'm not a big fan of it. I kind of got stuck into it. But hey, when it comes to promoting your book, you cannot beat social media. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube videos, all kinds of social media out there that will help you promote your book. Now, you be careful with this because there's a ton of experts out there that are going to tell you the latest, greatest thing to do when it comes to social media promotion of your book. Be careful. There's a lot of free training. They're going to always upsell you. Be careful, though, that you don't get bogged down and chase your tail, chasing the latest thing. Concentrate on one thing. Promote it through that. Facebook's probably the best way because their ads are really cheap and you can really follow that along. There's traditional and virtual books tours that you can do. You can call your local radio station. They're always looking for interest. They're always looking for stories of interest. They're always looking for local editors or local writers to interview. So you can do that. You can do a virtual book tour on through media, through social media, through, you can go Facebook Live, you can go YouTube, all those different areas. Also, you might want to do a book trailer. Those are really cool. You can do a little book trailer that 1 minute to 2 minutes, it tells the story about your book real quick. Put it on YouTube, slap it up on your social media, draw interest that way. You also want an official press release. Those are important, especially to send out to local newspapers. You'll get an interview. I'm telling you, if you're a local newspaper, you're at a local newspaper and you're a local author, it never fails. I get interviewed by the local newspapers every single time, as in every single time that I send out a press release about a new book. I always get at least one interview in a local newspaper. Hey, they're looking for content, and you're providing them content, especially if your book's interesting. So make sure you do a press release. You can Google search how to write a press release, do it all official, fancy, and then just go find all the different email addresses of your local newspaper, television news stations, radio stations, and just send those press releases to all those contacts, and do it individually. Don't put everybody in the two column of your email. Email each one individually and kind of personalize each one, but you're going to take your press release and cut and paste it inside that email. And I'm telling you, you're going to get at least one interview, whether it's in the newspaper, on television, or on the radio. Now, there's some resources that I want to recommend that you get and that you use before I close here. Two books that, or actually one book that I really, or two books that I really want you to go ahead and get that help me. I don't get any royalties off this. They were actually recommended to me by Brian Tracy, who is the expert at writing and getting published. The Elements of Style by William Strunk and On Writing Well by William Zinsser. You can get them used either on eBay or Amazon. Man, get those two books. Those are so good. I love them. I try to refer to them all the time while I'm writing. In fact, today, as I was working on my 7th chapter of my book, I was getting really wordy. And in the Elements of a Style, it says, if you can say 3 words in 2, say it in 2. So, it helps you cut down on being too wordy. So those are 2 resources that you really should have as a writer. If you're serious about becoming a writer, and you don't even have your manuscript yet, but to prove to me that you're serious, I want you to go open an account for free with Kindle at www.kdp.amazon.com and go to Smashwords, www.smashwords.com. Open up a free account with them so you will be set. And I want you to even finish. I want you to put in your bank account, all that information so that they can transfer a royalty check to you every month or quarter, however they put that out. And I don't have it on here, but also audiobooks are free. You can go to, oh my gosh, I can't think of the website, but Amazon has an audio website where you can do audiobooks. I'll think of it here in a minute, but that's where you get your audiobook up on audible.com. So also look up there on Amazon. If you're serious about doing that, just email me at jeffers221@bellsouth.net and I'll help you with that. Now, speaking of help, if you need my help, there's a few ways that I can help. I know this has just kind of been a broad brush, but I want to get you started. I've given you enough right now to actually get started. Start writing your book. Open up these 2 accounts that I told you about. Go buy those 2 books as resources. But if you'd like my help, I've actually written a book detailing this information. So on the website here, all you have to do is give me your email address and I will email you the PDF copy of my book, Writing a Book, The 7 P's to Becoming a Published Author. It's out there on Amazon. You can buy the paperback. But since you've spent time with me, and I really appreciate you doing that, and I want to help you, I really want to help you with this, I'm going to send you a free copy in PDF that you can just upload to your computer and read it for free. Just give me your email address so I know where to send it. I'm not going to sell your email account, your address to anybody. I promise you that. It's just going to be you and me. And I'll send that to you so you have a copy of it for free. You don't go out and buy it. Let me send you. Spent 30 minutes of your time or however long this has been. Let me send you a copy as a token of my appreciation for listening to me. Now, I do also have one-on-one coaching opportunities that you can use. I have different packages that I offer to depend upon what level of help you need. So you can check my website out. I have different packages, anywhere from bronze all the way up to platinum. And I actually provide complete publishing services. So if you need me to help you with that, just let me know and we'll work that out. And you can check all the different packages on the website here. Just scroll on down and you'll see them, what I have to offer you. Hey, thank you so much. I'm excited for you. I really hope you'll follow through with this. Get a manuscript done. Get started. You'll be amazed how much confidence you're going to have that you're actually doing this. You're actually not just you're not just passionate and you're not just pursuing it, but you're actually preparing. You're actually planning. You're practicing. You're actually going to do this. And then you're going to actually publish it and then promote it. You can do this. I know you can. Hey, listen, I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know what you think. If you're on Facebook, please leave me some Facebook comments and let me know what you think, how I can help you, and give me your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. So thanks for the time. I hope to hear from you. Please do get that free copy of my book from you. I want to give that to you. So just put in your email address, and I'll be sure to email that to you. All right. Thanks a lot. God bless. Thanks. Take care.